Alex, so welcome back to another video. Today I am bringing you a book haul. Now, a decent chunk of this book haul is just me being in the UK and buying a load of books, and then some of it is pre-orders and some of it is books that I've bought for projects. I don't really have a rhyme or reason to this, so I'm just going to try working through it as best I can. Now, I am not going to be talking about the synopses of any of these. These are literally just me talking about books I've bought and where I've got them from, and maybe a brief genre note. I ended up with 7 books from my friend Mare, 3 of which are still in the UK because they are the special editions of the Chronicles of the Bitch Queen series by K.S. Veloso, which is one of my favourite series. Mare was unhauling her Broken Binding editions. I snapped them up, but they are currently in my sister-in-law's house because I didn't really have the space to bring them back, and they're not ones I need to read, they're just ones that I want to own. So those will be slowly and progressively shipped out to me. But for ones that I haven't read that I did bring back with me, I did get The Sword Defiant by Gareth Hanrahan. I want to try this author, but it's not one that I am 100% sure I will love. So it's not one where I necessarily feel compelled to buy the entire series like I normally would, because it does look a little bit fantasy for my liking. So we'll see if it's my vibe, and I will then give it a try. And if I like it, I can then just go quickly pick up the sequels and still binge read it. That's how the internet works nowadays. I did also pick up Poster Girl by Veronica Roth. I'm very curious to read an adult work by Veronica Roth. I did try reading Divergent in my teens and I did not enjoy it at all. So I kind of figured I'd be very curious to see how her adult works pay out. This is a Fairy Loot edition, and it is a rather pretty one. I don't own any other Fairy Loot editions aside from this, so it was a very interesting book to be picking up. Then I also have another Fairy Loot edition now in my collection, and that is Spells for Forgetting. This is one that I do actually have plans for next year, so it was very handy to own a physical copy of. Not that I necessarily need it because I own the ebook, but it is a very nice edition, so you can't go wrong with it really. On the end papers, this one's a magical realism murder mystery, I believe, so very excited for that one. And then the last one that I have is another one where I've heard mixed things, so I wanted to try the book before getting the whole series, and that is Between Dragons and Their Wrath by Devin Mason. And this is an author I've been wanting to try. This is a Broken Binding edition, which is again very pretty. I do like Broken Binding editions, although this is, I imagine, an early one because it doesn't have any end paper art. But I'm very excited for it, but I've heard mixed things, so it's one that I wanted to kind of try before picking up and buying the whole series. I did go to Station Books, which is run by the lovely Laura and Ross from Hardy's Books, so I thought I would obviously have to pick up some things while I was there. So I picked up 3 books from there, the first one being The Saint of Bright Doors by Vajra Chandrasekhara, and this one is a literary fantasy that I've heard Ross speak very highly of, so I am excited to try it. And then I got Monk and Robot by Becky Chambers. I had to pick this up now that there's a paperback binder of the 2 and I don't have to spend 11 quid on both books. I am very happy about it. I've got my Tunbridge Wells bookmarks. I do have a mug somewhere as well, which I might show you later. I absolutely love Becky Chambers' other books, so I'm very excited for that one. And the last one that I got is one that I'm very excited about, and my friend Elise managed to pull aside for me just in case, and that is Murtat by Christopher Paolini. And as you can see, it's a signed edition. I've never owned a signed edition by Christopher Paolini, and I have been following this man's career for a very long time, so I was very excited to own a copy of this, especially because Murtat is my favourite character in the series, so I'm very excited to get to this one soon. I have a vlog project in mind for it. In Brighton, I went to Waterstones and I ended up also picking up 3 books, the first of which was The Warm Hands of Ghosts by Catherine Arden, which is a standalone by this author. I love the Winterlight series, same as everyone else. I'm a basic girly, and I was very excited to get my hands on a physical copy. I got the one with the bonus short story because more Catherine Arden content is more Catherine Arden content. So again, very excited to be getting to this sometime soon. I got The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. Don't really ask me why, because I've heard terrible things about it, but I am curious. I want to read Leigh Bardugo's adult work. Again, I've not read anything adult by this author yet because I haven't read Ninth House yet. I do own it. And also, I have heard that this is set in Spain, and I'm always curious to see how non-Spanish people write Spain. So we'll see how I fare with that, because it's always like hit or miss for me. And then the last one that I have is The Sky on Fire, which again by Jen Lyons, another favorite author of mine. So I had to read her standalone. I have heard it's not quite as good as the Chorus of Dragons, but of course it's not because it's a standalone. It's Jen Lyons. I will buy her shopping list. From Tesco, I ended up with a rather dark black stack, and we have House of Flame and Shadow by Sarah J. Maas. I'm going to hate this. I am 100% sure I'm going to hate this, but I need to know. It's got a character in it that is my ride or die for all Sarah J. Maas characters. If he's in it, I have to read it. It's compulsory. So I will read it nonetheless, but I am not happy about it and I'm not excited about it. Don't ask. It's a very long book for me to not want to read. I bought a physical copy of When the Moon Hatched because it was on sale and it was very cheap. So I thought, why not? Because I really did enjoy this when I first read it, and it was nice to have a physical copy. And I also picked up Queen Bee by Juno Dawson, which I have now read and is in a vlog. So I won't say too much on this, but I did really enjoy this experience. And this is the prequel novella to the Her Majesty's Royal Coven series. I also went to the Royal Shakespeare Company in Stratford-upon-Avon, so naturally I bought some Shakespeare retellings. I bought Fair Rosaline by Natasha Solomons, which I have read and is in an upcoming vlog. And I also picked up Lady Macbethad on the hope that this will redeem Lady Macbeth retellings after I had such a mediocre time with Lady Macbeth by Ava Reid. At the airport, I did a slightly less conventional choice for me nowadays, and I picked up two YA books. I picked up Once Upon a Broken Heart and The Ballad of Never After, and I have no regrets. I got these from bookshop.org as well, which is fantastic because it supports independent bookshops, and I was very, very excited to get to these because I did really enjoy Caraval back in the day, and I have been getting FOMO from the sequels, so hopefully I will get the third book at some point and I will be able to read that series as well. And now for things I didn't get in the UK. Before I left for the UK, I picked up two series. I picked up The Nightingale and the Falcon series by Stephen Arion. Now that they're all out, I was waiting on the third book to come out, and now I own them all, and these books are absolutely stunning. They are, I think, my favorite Angry Robot covers, I'm not gonna lie. We have The Judas Blossom, The Blood Dim Tide, and The Sorrow of the Sea, and this is a historical fantasy in which we are during the aftermath of the death of Genghis Khan, and we are following it, I think, at least partly in Persia. I'm very, very curious to see how I feel about those. I love Stephen Arion's writing, so it'll be very interesting to see how he does with historical instead of epic fantasy, which is all I've read from his fantasy sphere so far. And the other one that I picked up is another historical fantasy, and that is, of course, the Gale Song by Shauna Lawless, and this is The Children of Gods and Fighting Men, The Words of Kings and Prophets, and the Land of the Living and the Dead. And this is a retelling of Viking takeover of Ireland. I believe that we've got some like Irish gods and Celtic gods going on in here. I'm very excited to get to these. These have been on my high priority list for a very long time. And then last but not least, I got a couple of pre-orders come in, like physical copies of books that I wanted in paperback. We have Tales of a Monstrous Heart by Jennifer Delaney. I, again, will be reading this in a vlog sometime soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. And then ones that I have already read and reviewed for a vlog was I also picked up both The Honey Witch and The Phoenix Keeper. So these are ones that are in my Pride Romance vlog, so if you want my thoughts on these, they are already read. So quite a hefty haul. But I am very excited for every single one of these books, either because I want to sample things in the case of like some of the ones that I got from there, or because they are from authors that I love. The only one I'm not excited for is the Sarah J. Maas one, but I'm still going to read it anyway because I'm a masochist, ? So anyway, let me know if you've read any of these and your thoughts on them, or based on my excitement for some of these or my enjoyment for the ones that I have read. If you have any other recommendations for me, I'm all ears. Let me know what is the most recent book that you hold as well. And yeah, I will hopefully catch you in another one soon.